Hello, in this tutorial or series I want to explore and work with Avalonia, which is a framework which allows you to create application that will work on your Windows, Mac or Linux machine, and you can build one application and it will work seamlessly in between the different operating systems. So Avalonia is a tool built up on C#, which is the programming language of Windows, and it is built up on WPF, which is a way to create GUI components using something similar to HTML, but Windows specific. Many Windows application is always built up on WPF, which is a XAML form, but the structure looks a lot like HTML, and it helps you build application with windows and buttons, and you can structure them much like HTML is structured for a web page. So in this series I'm going to try to build an application and show you how I deploy that application on a GitHub repo so I can work seamlessly across my Windows machine and my Mac machine. This application will be a desktop application for now, and I'm just trying to figure out how I can work in between my Windows computer and my Mac computer and get the same code working on both machines. So for this project I will use Visual Studio Code. I believe it's preferable to use Visual Studio Community, but I like Visual Studio Code a lot as my IDE, so I will try to work only with this tool. Yes. So if you want to create a application with Avalonia, I recommend that you go under extensions and you install first install C# devkit and C#, as that is the programming language we will write our Avalonia application with. And also for creating the start project, I really recommend to install Avalonia for Visual Studio Code extension, because that will create the start project and it will have a template already configured to work for you, so you don't have to manage all files. This will set up the project for you. So I will just show you the home page. So the home page for Avalonia is avaloniaui.net, and if you want to work with it, I would highly recommend to go under Get Started and look at the documentation. Yes. But after you have installed the extensions you need for setting up C# and also getting started with Avalonia, one thing further that you might want to install for this to work on both your machines is .NET. So .NET is the library which contains all the C# files for writing this application. If you don't have this installed, please install that as well. Yes, and you can install this on let's see, Microsoft.net, and here under download you can install the .NET, and I have the version 8 installed, and I have installed this on my Windows machine, and you can also install this on your Mac machine. Yes. Okay, so now let's get started. First I will go under the Explorer window, and after you have installed the Avalonia for Visual Studio Code extension, under the Explorer where you create your new project, you will have a option to create a Avalonia project. I will use that one. And we have three options here: Avalonia app, MVVM and cross-platform. I for now will use the Avalonia app. The MVVM is a preferable way to work, but where you separate your logic so you can move it easier across different operating systems or platforms. But you can also set up the Avalonia app to use MVVM later. So I will choose the Avalonia app, and then I will go and give it a name. So let's use a test project for now, and we can for now select the desktop, create a new folder, test project here as well, select, and now we can also open the project here directly. And as we can see right now, we have all the different files created for us. It might still be loading here. But right now we can actually test our application. So it's still thinking. Let it think a little bit more. So we can test our application right now by pressing Run, Start Debugging. And here in the debugger we will choose C# as that is the language, and we will select the project. So now it's compiling, and now it's opening the Avalonia window. So we can see that the Avalonia program is currently running on my machine. We have the welcome to Avalonia here. Okay, so these steps should work just from start. You might have to install some tools for it to work, but like the .NET framework and the extensions. So now I will set up a GitHub repo for this project so I can work seamlessly between my Mac computer and my main PC. So to do that, I will go on the source control here. If you don't have source control, you might have to install GitHub. I believe it should be here from start, the source control. So source control, I want to initialize a new repository for this project. In the message, I will say test project, and then I will commit this project. Hello, this is Joseph from the future. I did a bad thing here right now. I accidentally committed and published my project with the bin files, so they were already committed. This makes the gitignore file not helping, because I already submitted the bin file, and now when they change, they will try to sync these changes. So what I should never have uploaded the bin files to begin with, and I should have added the gitignore file first. So I did a little hiccup here, and this does so that my project now is kind of messy. But I will show you how you need to work. You don't want to submit the bin file like I did to begin with, and when you work with Visual Studio, and let's say you want to make a change, you may want to make the background red, for example. Now you can see that it's only commits that change and not the bin files. But for me, the bin file was always being changed because I've already submitted them once. That was my bad my mess. And that's also why my generate message never worked, because it tried to explain all these files. So now you can see it's committing the red. So I press commit here, and then I sync these changes, and then I go to my Mac computer, parsec, connect, You can see it's green right now, but if I take it away, and in Visual Studio I can now pull these commits on from my PC like this. I go here, and then I have pull push, and I do a sync. And now you can see the color here change to red immediately. And now if I press run, it will understand that change. So you can watch the rest 5 minutes here, but I would skip them because I'm having some troubles with Git because I set it up incorrectly from the start. I'm sorry for this. These things happen. It's a learning experience. It will probably happen to you as well if you're new to Git. I've worked with Git some years and it still happens to me, so it's normal. But yeah, just wanted to explain this. This rest of the part are messy. I'll probably make a timeline here where you might want to keep watching. But sorry for this, and thank you for listening again. Bye bye. So I press commit, and then I will publish this branch. So yeah, and I will publish this to my GitHub user project user profile. And the reason because I'm doing this is because I don't want my files of my projects to be on my computer or my Macintosh. I want it to be on GitHub, so I can access it from GitHub on both computers. We will open on GitHub to see that our files has been pushed to our GitHub repository. And as we can see here, this is now on GitHub. And if you don't know what GitHub is, I've created a series on my YouTube channel where I explain GitHub, so you might want to watch that. So now my files are pushed here. One third thing I want to add is I want to add a GitHub git ignore file, because when we run our application, we will write new files to these two folders, and when we compile and run our program, many new files are being created, and if we do not have a git ignore file, every time we save our project, what we've been working on, it will also try to push these files to our GitHub repo, and there's a lot of files, so this will take a lot of time, and these files are not needed. So yeah. I don't remember the folders. I know it's the bin, so I will just use ChatGPT for this. So I have created a new GitHub repo for Avalonia. I don't want the build files to be committed each time I save or commit to my new GitHub repo. So I want to add a git ignore file. Give me a suggestion of the files that we do not want to push each time in this GitHub ignore file. So I use ChatGPT there because I cannot remember these files myself. So now it will give me some examples here. So it's this I'm interested, the bin and the obg. VS Code packages. This might actually also be interesting. Actually, I think I like all of them. So I will copy these, and then I will also say like this: I'm happy with these. Tell me how to create my git ignore file. To create git Avalonia, you can follow open terminal, navigate, replace your project path, create a git ignore file on Windows. You can use the type command. Yeah, so it okay. And now I remember. So now I don't need Git ChatGPT anymore. But I will create a new file here in the test project. So new file, which I will name git ignore. I don't remember if it's maybe we need to have .git ignore here. Yes, we can see the little icon there, and then I will paste in. Yeah, these two are the important ones that you want in your git ignore file. So this is a file I create myself. So now each time I do a change and I run and test my program, these files in these folders are not going to be committed to my repository. So this will make my development cycle a lot smoother, so to say. Okay, so I might have to do another GitHub commit because I've added a new file to my project. So I go under source control. I will use GitHub Copilot to generate the commit message. I really like this feature. This is fix file passing generated editor config. This is not correct, but could have been. So I will make .git ignore added. So it commit this message, and then I will sync the changes. Okay, now I will turn to my Mac computer. So for this I'm using something called Parsec, which is a remote desktop application, so we can see my view on my Mac computer. So on my Mac computer I will use something called I can't use these shortcuts. Okay, let's see. So Finder, new Finder window, yes. Applications. Why can't I see applications? Sorry, I have to turn to here. GitHub desktop. So I will now here. This is GitHub desktop. It's a application that helps me with some of the tasks when using GitHub. I'm explaining this in my GitHub tutorial as well. So here I will make the clone repository. Now it looks at my GitHub repo, and I will write test here, and here I can see I have my test project. Here I will say where this test project will be downloaded to my computer. I'm happy with that, so I press clone here. And now I will open this in Visual Studio Code. And here I can see my project. It's the same project, and we have the git ignore file. We can open this file, and we can see it's the same which we created on our Windows computer. Now I'm on my Mac computer. So now I will try to run this project just to see it working on Mac and working on PC. It's a good confirmation for myself to see, like, check. Yeah. So program, and I will now run this file. So I'll press run, start debugging, and I will press C# here, and I will press the C# project here as well. So now it's compiling here on my Mac computer. But here we can now see our project, the same project which we had on our PC running on our Mac computer. So I'll now make a little change to our project. And for this I will use my own developed extension. So I have this extension called syntax extractor. I use this a lot when working with AI, and I will show you why right now. So actually I want to work on my a PC, a main computer right now, not on my Mac computer. So I'm jumping to my PC computer right now. I'm marking the files which I'm interested in here. I also have my extension on my Windows computer. So I'll select that one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then I will extract and copy text. And then I will go to ChatGPT. I have created a assistant for Avalonia. And here I'll just paste my project files. And then I will tell it to, now I would like the background of my project to be purple. So my extensions copies all the necessary or all the files I select and all the code in those files. So I can just paste them to some AI tool, and then I just can tell it what changes I want to make. So right now I gave it my files, and then I told it what I wanted, and now it tells me to change the color to purple. We will just take window. We actually just need this part of the code. So try to run again. So now we can see that we have changed the background by adding a tag here in the window called purple. So if I save this right now, if I run the project currently on my Mac computer, so I press run, start debugging here. Okay, anyhow, we can see it's still the same, white. So, but if I go to my PC, which is here, I can now do this sort control here. I can press on the Copilot generate, update main window, and test. That's true, but with purple. Yeah. I will now sync these changes. Okay. Now if I go to my Mac computer, which I have here, I will do a refresh. Let's see in the main XAML. Nothing here. I will actually close this project right now. Close it here as well. And I will open it again. And we have it under documents. Open folder. Documents, GitHub, test project, open. Yeah. Should be purple here right now, but it's not. Let's open GitHub desktop. This should work, but I don't want to do a commit right now. Changes, a lot of changes in the bin. I specifically told it. Here's a little hiccup where I should have added the git ignore file before I cloned the repository. So what I will do right now is actually I will delete my entire project on my Mac computer, and I will go to the folder, which is here, open in Finder on my Mac computer. And then I will, can we just go back? We cannot. Documents, GitHub, test project. I will delete all the files here. Move to trash. And I will discard all these changes. so. And now I will show in Finder. I can see these are the chain. This is my new project. So I deleted all the files. I don't think I needed to do that, but now I'll open this in Visual Studio. I will open the folder. I will go on the documents, GitHub, test project. Open this test project. It still doesn't have the latest update. So what I will do now is I will delete the entire folder. So I will do delete this test project, close this, move to trash, open GitHub desktop, clone again. This will take the latest version. Sorry for this being quite messy. Open in Visual Studio Code, look at the main window. Now I can see purple. Now I press run. You cannot run if you have the wrong file open. So as we can see now, I have the main window and I try to run. It doesn't understand how to run this file. I have to, on my Mac computer, I have to right now specifically have this file open when I press run. Let's see. Now the background should be purple. The background is purple. Let's now say that we want to center the text, which we have right now, welcome to Avalonia. We want to center that text in the middle of the window. So what I will do on my Mac computer is I will go to the files. Right now I will just select the files I'm interested in, use my tool to extract and copy the text. In ChatGPT I will say in my project, can you help me center the text in the window? Welcome to Avalonia. So now I'm working on my Mac computer. So it tells me that the test project and the main window, and here we specify the text blocks and welcome to Avalonia. So yes, this is good. We will take this main window and this is the main window here. We will overwrite this. Now ChatGPT has missed something, I believe, because we have the welcome to Avalonia here in this window as well. And as we add a text component, we have to delete this message otherwise it won't work. This is experience that you gain when trying to work with simple projects. We will test it, but I don't believe it will work. So I will open program, I will run this file. Okay, it did work. Anyhow, still, I will try to explain what the ChatGPT did here. So it actually added a new text box in the main window when we create the main window to the middle, and this text will replace this text which is specified in the main window.axml, but we can remove it from here as well and it will still work. Now I'm trying to open the wrong file. Now it can open the wrong file. Okay, that's good. Anyhow, we can see now that we centered the text. Let's say we want the text to be just a little bit bigger as well. So make the text twice as big. So now it will add, like in HTML, a font size to this code here, 2 multiplied by this font size, so it's duplicating. That's very nice. So I didn't know about that. I might have done it another way, but this code block here, now we will multiply the text. So let's try to run this. Now it didn't open the window, but it opened it here. We can see that the text "Welcome to Avalonia" is twice as big. I'm happy with this change. Now I would want this change to be reflected on my main computer. So now I'm on my Windows computer. So if I run my Windows computer, I just press run start. We can see that this change is not here right now on my Windows computer, and this is why we use the GitHub. So I go back to my Mac computer, and I will under source control here. And if you can look here in this source control, we can see that there are no bin directories here, which is the actually there are bin directories. I don't know why these are here. I might be doing something wrong, but anyhow, I will do a update file permissions for the, that's not true. Changed font size and position of text. I will commit this message right now. I will sync these changes. I will go to my PC, and I also have commits here of the bin directories. Is it because these are, I have to look at my gitignore file. Yeah, so it might be because we have to position them like the other way around. I'm unsure of this right now. Yeah. Have we gotten the new changes? If we look here, we have not. So, but anyhow, from a Mac computer, I have pushed now the changes, but I would discard all these changes on my PC right now, and I would like to do a pull, but for this I need the GitHub desktop application. Remove. Color logger is not the right tool. Revealing File Explorer. I will remove this project here as well. This is annoying. And then I will use the GitHub desktop to clone repository. And I have this test project here. Let's clone that to the right place. And open this in Visual Studio Code. Look at the code here. We can see it's the right change. Now we'll run this on my PC. Start debugging C#. Yes, we have this double size. Yeah. Let's make another change because this has been a very messy tutorial because GitHub and me doing it a little bit in the wrong order. Sorry for that. I will make another change and see if it will work right now, because now I've specified locations where I want my GitHub files to be downloaded on each computer after I have set up these gitignore file. So let's change color to white on the text. So that should be this text block. We should be able to say something like text.color. So we have the text blocks here, and we have the font size here. Maybe we then can say something like color. I don't remember how to do this. Text.color, no. So that's why I use ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, please set color to white. Let's see how it was supposed to be. You could go to the documentation and look this up as well. Okay, so it's foreground. Okay, so I take this foreground. We have to have a colon here because it's separated. Brushes are not loaded in right now, so we need these usings here as well. Yeah, so it's good to have the knowledge without ChatGPT, because then it's let's try now to run the project, start debugging. Now the text is white. Now let's see if we can just do a simple commit from this project. So we do source control. Let's see if it understands update binary. It still has these bin debug dot. I believe that we have to, in the git ignore file, do these and then do these and then say to the other way around, because it's always trying to load these. So I saved those two. And then I will, can I refresh? Maybe the bin won't update now. They will. I will change color to white, commit, sync chain. When GitHub works, it works well, but when you set it up a little bit wrong from the start, it doesn't work well. So that's on me. I'm sorry for this. But a little tip is, if you have committed your files to GitHub, you don't really need to be afraid of the files on your computer. You can just delete them because you have pushed them up to the network and they're safe there, and you can always get them down to your computer later. That's my approach, and it's a dumb approach. You should set it up correctly from the start. So now I go to my Mac computer again. Let's try to refresh. Of course it won't work. So stupid again. I will delete this in the Finder. Documents, GitHub, test project. Delete that one. Go to GitHub desktop, clone again, open in Visual Studio. This is not the right approach. Open in Visual Studio Code. Now I will run it here by going on the Program tab and press Run, and now it should be white. Okay, it's still thinking. I was too quick. Let's start again. So yes, it's white. Yeah. I kind of fucked up with GitHub on this tutorial. It works kinda, but I haven't configured it in a good way. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that using Visual Studio Code and the extension, which is, let's look on my PC, which is the Avalonia for Visual Studio Code extension, you can work with Visual Studio Code and create an application that will work on your Windows and Mac machine. This was the start tutorial to set up a project. I hope it might have been helpful for some people. Thank you very much for this tutorial. Yeah, see you around. Bye bye.